Hello everyone, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to do the detailed camera review of the Lenovo K3 Note. So the K3 Note is one of the most anticipated devices for this year, especially for the pricing. It's just 999 and comes with a 13 megapixel rear camera with a dual LED flash, and then you have a front facing 5 megapixel camera for selfies and video calls. So that is the camera aspect, and this has really great specs for this price. And let's get started with the camera review. So let's open the camera interface. So that's the camera interface on the Lenovo K3 Note. So on the top you have the option to switch to front cam, the flash, then you have HDR, and then you have the option to select which mode you want to take the photos: normal mode, touch mode, timer mode, and voice mode. And at the bottom you have the settings, the normal set of settings you find on the Lenovo devices. You have the camera option. You can select the aspect ratio, white balance, scene mode, ISO guidelines, and the image properties by default. Then you have the video mode. You have the resolution of 1080p, 720p, and the standard resolution. You can set the focus to continuous focus or infinite focus. And then in general options you have volume button settings, location, auto preview, triaxial leveling, storage location, and a few other options. So all in all, the interface looks pretty decent. It's much better than what we saw on the A6000 Plus, and very similar to what we saw on the A7000. On the right you have the option to view the gallery, and then you have the option to take videos, photos, and then you also have the option to switch to panorama. There is also effects, so this again looks very similar to the A7000. You have different effects included here, and you can select them, and those effects will be directly applied onto the viewfinder. You can see these effects are right now applied to the viewfinder. Then if you go back, you have this normal mode. That's where we take most of our photos. So that's the normal mode. So that's the interface of the Lenovo K3 Note, and interface wise it's a pretty good looking interface with a decent amount of features as well. So now taking photos, it's pretty smooth and fast, and focusing looks pretty okay. No big issues with focusing, and it's pretty spot on with the focus, and no major issues with the focusing. So that was the camera interface. Now let's go to the photos taken with this device. Now taking a look at the photos, you can see that this looks very similar to what we saw on the Lenovo Vibe X2, where the camera was not really the best aspect of this device. So similarly, the K3 Note does produce pretty decent shots. The Lenovo K3 Note does produce pretty decent results, but then again it's not really consistent. So you can see here we are taken in daylight, and the photo, the top portion of the photo is hazy. That's because it's more light there, so it's become hazy and it's not sharp. But at times you do get pretty decent results, especially the close-up shots, where you get a pretty good amount of details, and the colors look pretty good in the close-up shots. But the biggest issue with this camera is it's not really consistent. You definitely can get decent shots with this device, but not always. If it is too bright sunlight, it goes hazy and the sharpness levels are way too low. But if you're focusing for close-up objects, the clarity looks pretty decent. The colors are again decent, although it's not the best colors we saw on a budget camera phone, or rather a 13 megapixel camera phone. So that's one issue with this camera. Overall, you can see the samples here. It does look like a decent camera phone, but overall it may not be able to beat the competition with the likes of the Xiaomi Mi 4i, the Asus Zenfone 2, or even the Meizu M1 Note. So it's more like similar to what we saw on the A7000, although this is a bigger sensor. It's a 13 megapixel sensor when compared to the 8 megapixel sensor on the A7000. So there is no major improvement with respect to A7000 in terms of the camera aspect on the K3 Note. We are assuming the software processing on the Lenovo's K3 Note is not really that great. It's very similar to what we saw on the Vibe X2, where the photos were over processed, and that resulted in noise and low sharpness in the photos. So that's the exact case with the K3 Note as well. So we can't say it's a bad camera, but it's not even the best camera either. So it's kind of camera which can produce good shots, but then again it depends upon the situation and also the light and a lot of conditions. But we can't say this is one of the best camera smartphones in this price point. So overall the daylight shots were not that great, but just an average camera at this price point. Now looking at the low light shots, so you can see again the low light performance was very similar to what we saw on the A7000. it's a decently performing low light camera, not the best, but it does require adequate amount of lighting, and with adequate amount of lighting it's able to produce decent shots. There is noise, so it's pretty decent clarity for a mid-range phone which competes with the Mi 4i, Asus Zenfone 2 and other devices. And the flash does work pretty decently, but at times it does overexposes the image. I mean, the brightness levels of the flash is way too higher at times, but overall we would say it's an average camera in the budget segment, or rather the mid-range segment. Now moving on to the video recording, again this camera can record videos in 1080p. This is a sample we have recorded, and as you can see, based on the photos, the feedback what we got from the photo, the same applies to the videos as well. It's not sharp, and the noise levels are slightly higher in the videos, and the clarity looks just okay. Again, the sharpness levels are very low. We would say the Xiaomi Mi 4i, the Meizu M1 Note and the Zenfone 2 all records much better 1080p videos than the K3 Note. Now moving on to the front facing camera, so this phone does come with a 5 megapixel front facing camera, and this is a 5 megapixel camera. You can see there is an option to take photos using voice. You can tap the screen, you have a timer, hand sign and blink mode. So these are the modes available for the front facing camera, and you also have a beautify mode here. So you can see the beautify mode, you can use a slider to change the amount of beautification for photos, and you can disable it as well. And in the settings you can change the resolution to 1080p, 720p and low resolution. There is also fill light, you can add effects to this photo. Now we'll show you the sample we recorded with the front cam. So here is it. So right now we are recording this video using the front cam on the Lenovo K3 Note. So this is a 5 megapixel shooter which we already saw on the Lenovo A7000. So now this can record videos in 1080p. The full HD recording is available. You can also record in 720p, and it does have a beautify mode where you can turn on the beautification for your photos. So as you can see, the clarity looks pretty okay. There is a slight amount of noise here and there. So this we are recording into with artificial lighting. So we have switched on the lights in our office and we are recording using that, and the clarity looks pretty okay. This is pretty good for social sharing. You can also use this for video calls, and the clarity looks pretty good for me. And you can also have different kinds of shots, like gesture shot is there, there is timer shot, and a pretty decent amount of features are included for the front facing camera. So here are some of the photos taken using the front facing camera on the Lenovo K3 Note. So that's all guys with the camera review of the Lenovo K3 Note. So it's the 13 megapixel rear camera with dual LED flash and a front facing 5 megapixel camera. So overall we would say it's just an average camera, nothing really to be a segment leader or beating the competition. So it's not beat the competition, including the Honor 4X, Redmi Note, the Xiaomi Mi 4i, the Asus Zenfone 2 or even the Meizu M1 Note. So it's very similar to what we saw on the A7000, not really big improvement, although the sensor goes up to 13 megapixel. No big improvement we see in the photo quality with the Lenovo K3 Note. So if you are looking for a great camera experience, then Lenovo K3 Note might be disappointing for many of the users if you are very much particular about the photo quality. So that was the camera review of the K3 Note. So hope you like this video. If you have any queries, drop in a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with the queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.